Thank you so much for coming on. I just want to ask like some questions. Can you talk to me about what's one thing your teammates know about you that fans probably don't?
I'm kind of normal guy, nothing really crazy, but
Hmm.
I think I'm a pretty funny guy, and I just try to have fun in the locker room and off the ice, and
Hmm.
but during game days, and especially during games, I'm pretty serious. Like to be focused on my game, and then I like to have fun outside the game. So every other day by game day, I'm trying to have fun.
Yeah. Are you a chirper on ice? You say jokes to the other team?
Sometimes it depends on the game, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
Because sometimes I feel like when you start chirping or getting on all this, you kind of lose the focus of your own
Yeah.
game and starting doing something that might get you a little off. Yeah, depends. Especially in playoffs, it gets a little hot here and there. So in playoff, it's different hockey than regular season.
Yeah. Do you remember the first chirp or the craziest chirp you've ever heard?
I remember a couple of them. I don't know if I can say it on camera though.
No, yeah. No, you're good. That's
So
good.
yeah, I've heard a couple
Uh,
of crazy ones, but I don't think that's for the cameras.
Okay. That's funny. Um, do you remember the first time signing an autograph?
Yeah, actually, it was back in Slovakia when I started playing pro. I was
Hmm.
16 years old. I didn't really have a signature or didn't really even practice it. I had something in my
Yeah.
mind, but didn't really practice it. So just wrought something up. I don't really remember how it looked. Probably not
Hmm.
great, but yeah.
Do you have it down now?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty dialed now.
That's
Just
good. That's good.
yeah, it's a muscle memory at this point.
That's awesome. The first time is always cool. I like to ask every person I talk to because that's such a cool experience. And you talked about your experience in Slovakia. Can you tell me about Adam Guyan? I know that you knew him since you were 10, or you played like 300 games with him, I heard. So can you tell me a little bit about him?
Yeah, we played together on those selects after each of our seasons. We met with all the other guys from Slovakia. Basically, they're
Hmm.
now in the national teams or already playing in the NHL. So we created a good group of guys, played a lot of games together, and Adam hasn't changed since then. Like he's the same kid, same personality, and definitely improved in the net. He's obviously really good, and no, it's a pleasure to have him with me and someone that like from my country in the same organization that always helps from the start. So it's awesome.
That's cool. You guys were picked like 20 picks away from each other, so that's sick.
Yep.
Yeah. So going into a little bit more of the hockey questions, what do you think your biggest strength on the ice is?
I don't know. I think I'm a all around player. Or that's how I try to play. I definitely have a really good shot, and I think my playmaking's pretty good too. But I'm also a really good
Hmm.
skater, and I believe I'm a good two-way forward too. So I'm kind of all around. I think that's also good. Just gives me 12 spots on the roster to fit in. If I'm not a first line player, it doesn't really matter. I can slot in third or fourth. Doesn't really matter to me. So yeah,
That's awesome. I love your game. I loved watching you in the highlights after we picked you. So, and I'm an Erie
thanks.
Otters fan, so that's sick. I got to interview Matthew Schaefer and Malcolm Spence earlier this year. Can you tell me a little bit about both of their games? Because I know they're going to be top draft picks in this class.
Yeah, obviously their game is different. One is a four, one's a D, but yeah, Matthew likes to skate the puck. Obviously, with his skating ability, he can wield the puck, and I mean the breakouts are so much easier when we have him on the ice, and it just makes everyone's game so much easier. And just his ability to skate, move pucks, and walk the blue line, he's special. That's why I believe he's gonna be the number one pick this year's draft, and Malcolm's obviously a really good skater as well. He can drive pucks deep. He has that power forward in him, but he's also a really good playmaker and he can score too. So both of them very, very all around players as well.
The Blackhawks have obviously, the two picks in the first round, so I'm hoping we get the number one pick, select Schaefer, and then select Spence or trade up to get him. So I think that would be cool You guys
Yeah,
are
I
all
hope so
paired there.
too.
Yeah,
Yep,
that would be
I hope
sick.
so.
Do you have like passions outside of hockey, like any guilty pleasures that you do, like Fortnite or something like that?
No, I'm not really a Fortnite guy, but I
No.
do love watching soccer and playing
Nice.
soccer. Yeah, so I follow that sport a lot, then I follow Formula One as well. So these two
Ooh,
things. Yeah.
those are really sick. I got to see Messi last week in Chicago.
Oh,
Very cool
really?
experience. Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
20 feet away from me.
I'm more of a Ronaldo fan, but
Ronaldo? Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but no, yeah, seeing Messi would be a cool experience.
Yeah. Is Ronaldo your sports goat?
Yeah, yeah, definitely is.
Yeah. That's cool. When you get in the league, you gotta try to link up with him, try to get him to sign your jersey or something. Um,
That would be tough. That would be tough.
he has like 70 million followers on Instagram or something. But can you describe your game in 3 words?
Skating, um, compete, and I don't know, just I don't know how to put it in English. Someone that you can rely on, like reliability a little
Reliable.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are great. Um, who's your NHL comparison for yourself?
Um, my old coaches were always saying Pavel Zacha, so that's who
Nice.
I try to mold in my game on. It's he's a big centerman that can play also in D zone, O zone, and has a really good shot. But also his playmaking's kind of underrated. Plays with Pasternak, so obviously he's setting him up a little bit. But yeah, I moved to wing the second half of the season, so yeah, like I said, I'd have a problem playing center. I can play wing. I can play up and down in lineups. So yeah.
How's your transition from to wing?
It's obviously a little easier in D zone. You don't have as much responsibility, but it also allowed me to focus more on the offensive side and transition game. So yeah, I would say it's a little easier for me to like yeah to be in the D zone and not to have as much energy spent in the D zone. Obviously, you're not in the battles behind the goal line and you're just prop the defending the middle of the ice and then yeah, you're just kind of 1v1 on the blue line. So
Mhm. And you went from playing in Slovakia to the USHL to the OHL. What was the jumps that you had to take in those three different leagues?
obviously I was 16, 17 playing pro in Slovakia, so it was really
Hmm.
tough physically for me. There were a lot of battles. The guys were from 20 to 35, 40, so they were physically stronger than me, so it was tough for my battles, but it really helped me get my game to like a mature level, be really responsible in defense because I was playing for a third line, so our role was to not get scored on. If we got scored on, I wasn't really playing anymore,
Hmm.
so I couldn't get scored on, and then obviously it was tough to create something offensively. So that's what I think the jump to the USHL and OHL helped me to get that creativity going and get the production going up. And yeah, USHL was probably very similar on the physical side, but it was faster. But it was kind of different. The pro hockey is so systematic and like you kind of know where everybody's at because they're older, experienced guys that played 1,000 games in the
Hmm.
league. So their experience, they move the puck really well. USHL is just kind of a junior hockey, so everybody's everywhere trying to show up, with toe drags on the blue line, which you don't see in the pro hockey. And then OHL compared to USHL is so much more skilled. Like players are more skilled. Uh, it's definitely softer, a little softer than USHL, but the skill levels obviously much more high.
Who's the best player you've ever played against in any of those leagues or international level?
I don't know. Like I played against really good guys. It's tough to pick one. We've played against Celebrini in the
Yeah.
USHL playoffs. Played against Bedard that were juniors. Like that whole Canada team. Like you can pick the whole team. Like they're all playing like pro now or turning
Hmm.
pro. So yeah, I mean played against a lot of good guys. I mean like I mentioned, Celebrini, Bedard, Stankoven.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so like a lot of good guys that are now playing in the NHL or turning or still in the A or still in juniors. So yeah, a lot of great guys.
You played Bedard arguably in his best highlight ever, but that move, I thought you did tussle with him after the whistle before you got drafted by the Blackhawks. Could you tell me a little bit about playing against him and that a little bit?
Yeah, like we didn't know each other by
No,
then,
yeah.
and I even if it did, like it's a game. We wanted to beat Canada. Canada wanted to beat us. It was big stage, Halifax, so it was home for them. It was a tough game. We kind of battled through it, but I think we did a really good job. And yeah, it was kind of after the whistle. I hit him after the whistle behind the net, and then he just came up to me. I don't know, he trying to like grab me or something. So we just
Mhm.
grabbed each other. Just I don't know. It's just like normal hockey moment. I mean, I don't know, made the highlights, but nothing crazy really.
Yeah, totally get that. Um, looking 5 years down the road, what kind of player do you hope people describe you as?
He's a hardworking player that like I said, I want to be like a reliable forward, but that can also really help the team and produce for the team. So yeah, I don't know where my NHL ceiling is. I'll leave that to the people above, but yeah, just trying to be the best player I can be. And like I said, you never really know where you're gonna be at the next level. So I'm turning pro after the season, so I'm just gonna go there and let itself to figure it out. I just like obviously everybody wants to score a goal, so I want to do that as well, but you never know at the next level. So